Okay, now we have to see what is the difference between digital evidence and physical evidence, and which one will be better. Either digital evidence is better or physical evidence is better. So here, digital evidence versus physical evidence. So when we think of a digital evidence, advantages are there, disadvantages are also there. What are the advantages is digital evidence can be sent to any person in an email or with an attachment anywhere, or you can directly copy it in a drives and you can send like that. There are different options for sending that particular digital evidence, and storing of that particular digital evidence also is very easy, and you can easily replicate itself. So it means you can make multiple copies of the digital evidence. Whereas if you are going for the physical evidence, okay, that physical evidence must be placed at a single point of place only. It should be, suppose in a police station, there will be some sort of a physical evidences. If that the same evidence is required in another state, what they have to do, they have to take the original copy, because Xerox and all they won't accept. So whenever you are talking about the evidences, Xerox will not be accepted. It should be the original document only. So that's why every time you have to carry this particular physical evidence to the place where you are, where there is a need for that particular physical evidence. So that you have to take into account. Next, if I say what is the best method of evidence, either digital evidence or physical evidence, then generally the best should be digital evidence, but to an actual point of view, the best will be the physical evidence only. Why? Because digital evidence, I already told you yesterday, no? If I have a PDF copy, I can rewrite anything in the PDF copy without changing much. I can simply edit the matter in the PDF, and what I can do, I can alter all those evidences. That is the main problem in the digital evidence. So that's why if compared with the physical evidence, which one is better means physical evidence only will be better. But there are a lot of disadvantages and advantages for both. So first one is, we will see what are the differences. First, it can be duplicated exactly, and a copy can be examined if there was original or not. So whenever you are going to deal with the digital evidences, first thing is you have to identify whether that digital evidence is original or not. That means you have to send that particular digital evidence to the forensics lab, and that forensics lab says which one is the original document. After getting the certificate from the forensics lab only, that digital evidence will be taken into consideration. Okay, so that is one of the difference between digital evidence and physical evidence. Next one is, so what are the type of tools which you are going to use in order to make the digital evidence not copying. See, some documents will be there, no? You can keep a password for that particular document, such that if someone tries to copy that content of that particular PDF or something, it will not allow, system will not allow to copy that particular content. So that helps up to some extent only, because there are several tools which we can use, and we can alter the every data also. So that means for each and every time you are sending a digital evidence to some people, what you have to do is you have to check the authenticity of that particular document, whether it is original or not. That is the biggest disadvantage of this particular digital evidence. Next one, if you want to destroy that evidence, okay, your case is completed, you have proved something, okay, everything is finished. Now you want to destroy your evidence. It is not possible to destroy the evidence in case of it is a digital evidence. Okay, second case, if someone intentionally tries to destroy the evidence. So if I have only one copy of physical evidence, if that person takes that physical evidence and he destroys that one, there is no means for retrieving that particular physical evidence. But in the digital evidence, 100% you can retrieve that particular thing. Okay, next one. That the point. This is the same point also. When criminals attempt to destroy digital evidence, copies can remain in places where they were not aware of. So you can maintain different copies at different places, and you can see that digital evidence cannot be destroyed. Next, Generally, if you are storing a digital evidence in a particular place, we have to take all necessary steps such that, okay, that computer where you have stored that particular digital evidence is not accessible to all the people. That should be password protected, and that also should be opened by only some particular persons only. All the other unauthorized people should not open that particular document. For example, okay, I'll tell you the example of this code tantra only. Okay, we can conduct the online exams using this particular code tantra also. Okay, online examinations also can be conducted using this particular code tantra. Last year, okay, last year only lockdown came, no, from March. At that lockdown period, so many colleges used code tantra to conduct the online examinations, external examinations. So how they can write means they should on their web camera, and they have to write down the examination for 3 hours. So many private universities and deemed universities chosen code tantra, and they have conducted exams worldwide. Okay, so one example I will quote is one university in Saudi Arabia, sorry, Dubai. One university in Dubai. What they have done is they have conducted exams for Dubai campus, BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani is there, no? They have a campus in Dubai. So these people, Code Tantra people, have conducted online examinations for BITS Pilani Dubai campus. What has happened is those people tried to enter into the server of this particular Code Tantra illegally, and what they have done is they have stolen the question paper. They tried to steal the question paper. Okay, they tried to steal the question paper. Okay, lot of people, not a single person, many of the students, okay, they tried to hack this particular code tantra server, and what they have done is they have not gained any access for this particular code tantra. But what has happened is on particular point of time, code tantra has stopped working. Okay, code tantra has stopped working because someone has hacked the servers of code tantra. They were not able to see the question paper, but they were able to stop the functionality of this particular code tantra. So overnight, what has happened is they have restored everything, and it took around 18 hours for them to restore everything. On that day, we also have not conducted the classes because their servers are not working. And a lot of errors are coming. I called them and asked them what is the problem, why today Code Tantra is not working. They told me that some students have tried to hack the server, but they are not able to see the question paper. But what they have done is instead of seeing the question paper, they have stopped the server to work. Okay. So after that, what has happened is they have installed all the patches and all. They called some external experts. They have everything they have done, and they have cancelled one particular exam, and they have reconducted everything. See, this is also an example of digital evidence because question paper is the digital evidence there. So what they have done is instead of that, they have used multiple servers. Code Tantra, what they are using is they are not using a single server for all the colleges. So some group of colleges they are using only one particular server. So after that they have done like that. So the question paper will be saved in different servers. Suppose if some server has stopped working, means from the other server they will arrange the examination. Like that they have done for this examinations and all. That is the example of the digital evidence. Next, the main problem with the digital evidence is suppose if I give you 1 terabyte of data and I specify you only one particular case. In that case, you need only 10 KB of data. I gave you 1 terabyte of data and asked you, I need only 10 KB of data. You preserve all this 1 terabyte instead of that 10 KB of data. That will be the main problem where you are going to store all these digital evidences. So there are two tasks in this. First one, copying everything. Copying only the thing which you want. Okay, whatever information is needed, just only that information you need to copy, otherwise copying everything. So if you want to copy everything means the main problem will be where you are going to copy everything. If I am giving 1 terabyte of data, you have only hard disk of 100 terabyte of data. Like me, so many clients will be there, so many persons will be there who will ask you to save the data, and how you are going to maintain all those servers. it will be a very big hectic task. Okay, that is the problem with the digital evidences. Physical evidences means you will have only one book, no? Oh, okay, only one book or one file you will have. Simply you can store that particular file and you can take all the necessary measures such that that file is not visible to all the individuals. So at a conclusion point of time, if you say which one is the best evidence, I will say physical evidence is the best evidence. So because multiple copies will not be there. Okay, and that data which is written in the physical evidence will be authenticated. So second version, if you see, digital evidence is not good. Digital evidence is also good for ease of use. For ease of use, it is very, very good. But for creating duplicate data, for replicating the data, for manipulating the data, for modification of data, digital evidence is vulnerable. So that is the main problem with the digital evidence. Moving on. So, so next one, this also I have already explained this same, what we can do with a computer. So next one, collecting and preserving the digital evidences. So how you are going to collect as well as preserve the different. Collecting is very easy because you can take all the necessary documents and all. So how you are going to preserve that one is very, very important, because if you are going to file a case in a court, that may not end in 1 or 2 days. So it will take some years of time. So over that years of time, compulsorily you have to store your data. So that will be a hectic task. So first one, whenever you are going to save the data, okay, you have to save the data and you have to put it in a computer, and you have to shut down that particular computer, because if you are continuously keeping on your computer, anyone can hack your computer and they can mislead that particular data. So what you have to do, you have to collect the evidence and you have to store it in a computer and you have to shut down that particular computer. Whenever you need that particular data, then only it should be connected. Okay, next one. So whatever the hardware which you are going to use for your computer, you have to make a note of that particular hardware also, because I have 1 terabyte of hard disk in my computer. Suppose after a long time I opened that and I found that only 500 GB of hard disk is there in that particular computer. Then what will happen? If you ask someone, my hard disk is replaced with someone, who will tell that it is replaced? They will tell, no one has opened that particular computer. So whatever information you are giving, it is wrong. Like that only they will tell. So that's why you have to note down the hardware of that particular computer also. Whatever the configuration that is there in that computer, you have to note down that particular configuration also. Next one is you have to note down the time and date when you have saved. The time and date of the CMOS also you have to save that details. Next one, whatever the operating system you are going to use. Okay, so if I am going to use the other operating system, it should not overwrite my data. So if someone is going to enter a new operating system, then also my hard drive should not work at all. So it should not we should see that it should not erase all our data and create a new operating system, because installing a new operating system will be very easy. So if I want to destroy that particular data, what I can do, I can install a new operating system and it will ask me whether to format that particular data and install this new operating system. If I say yes, automatically all my old data will be lost. That's why you have to change the settings such that you cannot, okay, any person cannot use the option to erase the existing operating system, and you cannot reboot that particular operating system. So next one, if possible, you have to make a copy of that particular digital evidence in the hard drives also. Okay, because if you maintain multiple copies, then even if there is a problem with one copy, you will have an other copy also. With the help of that copy, you can prove that that some particular person is a culprit. Next one. Next, whenever collecting the entire details of the contents, suppose 1 terabyte contents are there. Okay, So what you have to see that whenever you are going to copy everything, instead of copying a single files like that, you have to copy the entire folder. Suppose if 1 TB folder is there, instead of you want to copy everything, what you have to do is you have to copy the entire folder at a point of time. Suppose if you are going to copy the subfolders and all, you may miss some folders, and there may be loss of your particular digital evidences. That also you have to make into note. Okay. So if there is any unallocated space, okay, if there is any unallocated space in your hard disk, then what you have to do is when you are, so if you are going for a regular copy, okay, copy paste, if you are going to do that particular thing, what it will do is first it will use the unallocated space, after that it will use the virtual space. So not like that. First, what you have to do is whenever you are going to copy a new data, you should see that all the virtual space is allocated first, and after that only unallocated space is used. Okay, that you have to see. Okay, so moving on. No. So what is the agenda for duplication and preservation of evidence? So what is the agenda for duplication and preservation of evidence? So whenever you make a bit streams, okay, backups on that particular hard disk, so you have to see that you are going to use some sort of a tool for that particular thing. Okay, here are some of the tools. So first one is the NKS tool. Okay, second one DD tool, ByteStack, save, ByteBack, save back. These are the 4 tools. Okay, a lot of tools are there, but these are the 4 tools where you can use for backing up of your data into the hard drives. What these particular tools will do is they will encrypt all the data, and after encrypting all the data, so simply if someone is hacking your particular computer, or if someone is opening that trying to open that folder, it will ask you for a particular key which they cannot get it. Okay, so out of these 4, NKS will be the best tool. Okay, NKS will be the best tool. This particular NKS tool which is there, we will see this particular tool in the 3rd unit. We have this NKS tool in our syllabus also. We will see in the 3rd unit. Okay. And one thing what you have to do is whenever you are going to taking the backup of that particular data, you have to remember by which tool you have taken the backup, because again if you want to open that particular thing, compulsorily you have to use the same tool also. Because for each and every tool which you are going to use, it is using a particular key. So obviously you have to use that particular same tool which you have used. Okay. And there are some techniques where you can convert your data into an image. Okay, there are some techniques where you can convert your data into an image. So why? Because if someone is going to open that particular image, so what they have to do? They have to simply retrieve the data from the image, which will be very difficult. Okay, so if some unknown person, if he opens that particular thing, what he can do is he will open that particular thing and he will find only an image. He don't know that behind that image there is some sort of a data. They don't know that particular thing. So that will be the problem behind that thing. Okay. And whatever the thing which you are going to do on that particular data, compulsorily you have to note down the time, date, and the examiner means the person who is going to examine that evidence. So whenever if I am going to open that particular evidence means they will write down my name, because if I tamper anything, they will ask me the explanation why I have tampered that particular data. So that's why we have to note down the time, date, as well as the examiner details also. Next, what are the phases of a digital forensics process? So how many phases are there means there are 7 phases in the digital forensics process. There are 7 phases in the digital forensics process. First one is the evidence assessment. Whatever the evidences which you are going to collect, you have to assess the evidence whether the evidence is correct or not. If I put some white paper in the evidence and I say that I have collected all that evidence and I have submitted to the court, when the court sees that paper, there is nothing written on that. Then if I say that no, I have calculations, I have given the right paper, and they will say you give only white paper. Then what I can say, I say that someone has altered my data. So court won't accept all those. So whenever you are going to collect some evidences, You have to write down when it is collected, where it is collected, how it is collected. And next one is we have to do that assessment also, whether the evidence that is collected belongs to that particular case or not. If that it is belong to that particular case, then only that evidence should be taken into account. That also you have to see. Next one is the data acquisition. So what are the mechanisms which you are going to collect the data? Okay, how you are going to collect the data? Which mechanism you have used? See, for each and every case, there may be a different mechanism, but for similar cases, you have to follow similar mechanism only. So suppose there has been a theft in my house today. So what I have to do, if I put a case, then the police have to come, and first thing that they will see if there are any evidences how they have entered into your house, what they have done after entering into the house, and all they will see. And after that, what they will do is they will call the clues team. So they will call the clues team, and they will ask the clues team to take the this marks and all. Okay, so after that they will compare those hand marks with the thumb impressions with the data already previously they have with them, and they will see that any old culprit has done that particular work or not. If it is so, then obviously they will trace him and they will catch him. Otherwise, what they will do is they will go for the next mechanism. If the theft loss is heavy means, then what they will do, they will call the dog squad and all, and they will inquire about everything. And next thing what they will do is they will inquire the houses before us, back of us and side of us, everything they will inquire about that particular thing. So the mechanism which you are going to follow, should be same for all the similar cases. Okay, if the case is different, then you can go for the different mechanism. But if the case is same, then obviously you have to follow the similar mechanism. Next one, data preparation. So you have collected some sort of evidences. Next, you have to find the order where you have to place all those particular data. First, number one. So point number one, this one, point number two, this one, point number, like that, you have to place everything in an order, so that when you present the same in the court, then obviously based on that particular evidences which you have given, it will be very easy for the court to verify all those documents and to see that the result will be given as soon as possible. Next one is the data extraction. Suppose the data you have prepared may need some more documents. Okay, maybe some more documents from the other cases. So already evidence is collected from the other cases, you need some more documents. Then you can go for this extraction of this particular data. So you can place a letter to the particular police department and you can ask for the details, or you can go for the RTA and ask for those particular evidences, and you can place those evidences in this particular thing. So that's the thing which you can do. Next one is the data analysis. So after completing of this data extraction phase also, next again you are going to analysis whether the evidences which I have collected is okay or not. Means okay means to prove that that particular person is a culprit, whether these documents are enough or not, or I need more documents for that. So after analyzing everything, finally you are going to write down the conclusion. So okay, my documents are fine. Okay, what are the documents which I have? Those are fine, and I don't need any more documents. Like if you came to a conclusion like that, then finally the final step should be document writing. Okay, document or report writing, both is same, both are same. Document or report writing. So you have to prepare a document, you have to prepare a report for that, and see that particular document, see that particular report is placed in the court of law, where it is placed according to the format only. For each and everything there will be a format. So compulsorily you have to place that particular details in the format only. So that is the final part. Seventh part is the document document and report writing. So moving on. Till now, any doubts? If you have any doubts, you please ask me. If you have any doubts, you please ask me. I'll clarify your doubts. If you have any, okay, if you have any doubts, you can please ask me. Okay, moving on to this particular thing only. Previously, we saw this digital evidences phases. No, now continuing with the same. So first one is the whenever you are going to inquire about a particular case, first thing is you have to take a policy and a procedure. Okay, if the case is a different case, you have to write down the policy because it is a new case. You have to write down the policy and you have to. We have to see that the same is followed. Next one, if that is a similar case, then already the policy document will be there, and you can use that particular policy document and you can start investigating. Next one is the evidence assessment. So whether the evidences which you have is a physical evidence or digital evidence, you have to first identify whether they are digital evidences or physical evidences. If suppose there are digital evidences, then that should be thoroughly checked. Okay, that should be thoroughly checked because the digital evidences may be tampered also. So that's why you have to thoroughly check that particular digital evidences, and after checking that thoroughly only you have to proceed to the next step. Next one, acquisition. So acquisition means suppose I found a digital evidence over there, then obviously you have, if you want to get any additional documents, you have to place a letter to them first instead of directly going to them and asking you to give that evidence. If you ask like that, means no one will give you the evidence. So even if he is a sub inspector also, they will follow the procedure only. They will put a letter to that particular thing and they will ask for the digital evidence. If they accept that particular letter only, they will give the evidence. Otherwise, you have to go to the court and you have to get the order. And from showing that order, you can get that particular digital evidence. Forcefully, you cannot collect the evidences which are already there in the other cases. See here how they have packed this particular digital evidence. First, this is a hard disk actually. So what they have done is they have done a tampered proof first thing, and after that again they have made a sticker for this, and they have written the details when they have collected and all, and again on the top also they have written details, and on the cover also they have written the details, because if someone is going to tear this particular cover, they will identify that it is tampered like that. Okay, this is an example of a preserving the digital evidences. So next one is the examination. So whenever you are going to do the evidence examination, it consists of two parts. First one is the extraction, because recovery of the data, you have to get the data back from the hard disk or computer or anywhere. Next one is the analysis, whether the data is enough or not. If it is not enough, how I can proceed and get the more evidence, etc. You have to see that. Okay. So next one is the extraction. So in the extraction step, what you are going to do is 45. Okay, maybe 1 minute. Okay, we'll stop here today. So in the next class, we'll again continue from here, from extraction. We'll continue. Because in this week we have one more class. No, in that class, what we will do is we'll complete this first chapter. Okay, up to preservation, we'll complete this first chapter, and in the next classes we'll go for the second chapter. Okay. So 1 minute, I will open this quiz and we'll move on to the quiz. Okay, 1 minute, I have started this particular quiz. I think now it is visible to you. Yes, you can join the quiz. So all of you join the quiz. And please inform your friends that all the attendances will be considered as usual. So even the CRT classes also. So per day 3 hours only we have placed, no. So per week you will have 18 hours. So total 72 hours will be there per month. And at the end of the month, I'll give you the attendance also. So that will be your final attendance, because this particular online class also will be considered for second semester. So same, so inform your friends also to attend the classes. Don't think that again, if we are taking the, don't think that if you are again taking the offline classes means we are again reconsidering the attendance. That will not be done. So compulsorily the same will be taken. So inform your friends also to attend all the classes without fail. Maybe only 20 members joined out of 33. Rest of the people also please join fast. Okay, we'll start, and those who are there will come and join again. We have only 5 questions today. How many steps are there in evidence collection? 6, 5, 8, 9. How many steps are there in evidence collection? 6, 5, 8, 9. So there are 6. There are 6 steps in evidence collection. Leaderboard: Pritam at number 1, Ganesh at number 2, Pranit at number 3, Manasa at number 4, Madhusudasri at number 5. Next question. See, some questions will be very, very confusing. Okay, whatever I have taught today, the same questions I have included in the quiz also. So before answering, think twice and answer. Second question: which would be better, physical or digital evidences? Which one would be better, physical or digital evidence? Physical, digital. Only 2 options are there. Which one would be better, physical or digital? Yes, physical would be better. Yes, Pritham at number 1, Pranit at number 2, Manasa at number 3, Madhusudasri at number 4, Ganesh at number 5. Next question, it consists of double points, and read the question twice before answering. Phases of digital forensics process. How many phases are there? 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Think twice before answering. Phases of a digital forensics process. So the answer is 7. I told you, no, think twice before answering. The last topic which I taught, 7 phases are there. Don't take my name into consideration. So 1 is Pranit, 2 is Manasa, 4 is another Manasa, 5 is Pritam. Next question. Which of the following is not focus of digital forensics analysis? Which of the following is not focus of digital forensic analysis? Authenticity, comparison, proving, enhancement. Not. Remember that. Not. Yes, enhancement. Because whatever the evidences which you are going to collect, you should not enhance that particular data. Okay. And leaderboard. Oh, my question is coming up. Okay. Pranit number 1, Manasa number 2, another Manasa number 3, Malsudasri at number 4. I am not playing that. My kid is playing actually. So next question and last question. Which of the following hold the highest value of evidence in the court? Which of the following hold the highest value of evidence in the court? Documentary, demonstrative, testimonial, real. Documentary is the correct answer. Documentary or report writing is the correct answer. So now we'll see who is the winner of today's quiz. Number 3 is, okay, don't worry about that. Number 2 is Manasa. Congrats, Manasa. Number 1 is Pranit. Congratulations, Pranit. 4 is Manasa. 5 is Pritam. Good. Okay, congrats, Pranit. I show you the answers. Please wait once. Actually, the questions which I have asked in the quiz. See here. Phase of a digital forensics process. How many phases are there? 3 plus 3 plus 1. 7 phases are there actually. Okay, that is one question. And that which one is better means I told you, no, physical evidence would be better. Next, see here, evidence collection steps. How many steps are there? 6 steps are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps are there. So every answers will be in the class that is told only. Okay. So anyway,